Welcome to the Three River Valley series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 22nd of March 1987. And in this part, what we're going to be doing is enabling the new maintenance feature, which is in the new update, which is currently in the Steam test branch. And if you're not sure what I mean, if we come into here, you'll see that there's various options here, and the one we'll be turning on is maintenance. But before that, I need to do a few things, and of course I'm going to start by saying a big thank you for you who've taken the time to post comments, especially those related to the day-night cycle. And some of your responses were very interesting. Now, I'm not going to go into any depth here, and I think you've given me a little bit of hope about maybe going for possibly some day-night cycles in the new series, not in this series, because we got a lot of things to do, which I don't want that distraction for. And of course, one of the biggest problems is to do with once the video gets up into YouTube, because as somebody pointed out, YouTube often makes videos darker than what they actually look like in the editing software. But that's just the hazard of the game. Before we get into turning maintenance on, I've got a few things to talk about. One is to give you guys an update of where we are. Two, I need to show you a couple of things as well. And we're going to start by showing you the synthetic chemical plant, which is what we were building in the last part. You can see it's up and running. The only problem I had with it is delivery, because this has only got 2 slots. And what I've had to do is, I'm not sure if these guys are, I'm not sure if I've actually moved them now. I've been looking at so many different things. Because what I did is I set this up as a separate this one up as a separate office. But what I'm going to do is move all these guys over to, where is it? It's here. The reason I'm moving them over to here is simply down to the fact that what we've got here is, well, the distribution offices is on the path between the chemical factory and the actual farms themselves. Now, we are keeping enough chemicals in here, because I think at the moment, because we're sowing, the chemicals build up, but once you start fertilizing, it disappears really quickly. And I still honestly believe that there isn't a case for a pipe outlet from this synthetic chemical factory. I'm pretty sure someone's going to come up with a mod eventually. Now, the next thing I want to show you is over here, and I want to correct a mistake I made in when I did the community report 77, and that's to do with asphalt and lit paths. What I actually said was that an asphalt path requires 2 passes. In fact, it requires 3 passes, the same as an asphalt road, because what you've got to do is lay the gravel, lay the asphalt, and then roll it. And with the path here, what you've actually got to do is the equivalent, but you've got an extra step in laying the poles, which is what the stage that has got. Now, I don't know if any of you guys noticed at the back of the video, but there was a paver on this laying the asphalt, and the game will send out all the correct vehicles. There we are. See the guy. They're just going to oblige me. But one thing I have noticed is that the paver tends to disappear, so I think it's got nowhere to park, but it is actually there. But once you get a delivery of asphalt, it will reappear again. And that also applies to the cranes as well. Now, one thing with respect to this final stage is that unless you build a specialized road construction crew, you're going to need an open hole to bring the steel, a covered hole to bring in the electro components, and more importantly, a bus to deliver workers. And that's something that you do need to do. So in some ways that you may actually need a specialist construction office to actually build these lit footpaths. One thing I will say is I did a bit of testing. I actually did it over here. It was destructive testing on a save game. And what I did was I just told this whole area to be upgraded to asphalt paths. And it caused a bit of mayhem, understandably, because I cut off these buildings here from their resources. But more importantly, the game really took its time with these very short lengths of pathway. And what I would recommend is that unless you're starting from the scratch, anything less than, say, 11 meters long, I don't know if I can measure this because the measuring tool can get a little bit... yeah, see, that's... be generous. That's about 9 meters long. The only way the game would build this pathway, whether it's gravel, asphalt, or whatever you want it to be, is with workers. And the game really seems to take its time to build, especially a lit pathway. So unless you've got plenty of time, I certainly wouldn't recommend it. I would suggest keeping lit pathways to something like what we've got here, where you can see we've actually got workers here, but we're still waiting for the gravel. In fact, I think the gravel is just arriving. Yeah, we've now got the gravel, and we're now starting to build that footpath. And one advantage you do get is that if you're in the local town, you will get people who will come here if they've got absolutely nothing to do, which is good. You can see here, kind of looks a bit kind of out of step here. You've got this great big dumper working with a paver here. He probably bought up there. We've got 0.61 tons of there. So that's something you do need to be aware of. Now, on this subject, I just want to show you something else that's been added almost by the back door. I couldn't find any change notes for this. This says, this down in the bottom right-hand corner, it says, so you can see it says active construction. It says maximum workers without construction offers. What this means is, I'm just going to reduce that to 10. Because what that means is if you're building buildings in an existing town, quite often what will happen is that once the building starts getting built, workers will go in there and just sit there waiting for materials to turn up. Then that could actually cause a problem. Here comes this should speed the process up a little bit now. You can see we've got the crane here doing this. Yeah, so by setting that to 10, it means that you get some workers in there that can contribute, which is particularly good with respect to like here, where you've got an asphalt truck actually working with a few people, but it means that you don't lose half your workforce, which you want out in crucial industries, to a system where they're just sat around doing nothing. Anyway, let's move on to something I do need to do, which is we got this block here, and I'm just going to open it up. I think I've got plenty of citizens here. We've got about 2,000 citizens. I'm not actually getting the birth rate, which I was hoping for, and I'm not wondering whether, I think we might be needing another orphanage. But the other thing I'm kind of half tempted to experiment with is if we come over to the medical university, is possibly increasing the birth rate. Now, I don't know if you noticed that message that came up, and I've noticed this since the update. It says unemployment too high, and I know where it is. It's here. And it seems every time you populate a new building, because the unemployment is because they've all moved in, that seems to come up quite often now. Yeah, so I am thinking about experimenting with the birth rate, but I want to get the maintenance settled down before I start trying that, because it could be a bit risky. Now, while we're up this end, I just want to check the research here. So it's just come here. Research-wise, I'll just show you the overall research now. I've kind of got to a point where I'm just researching now for the sake of researching. We've got a little bit more to do with airline production and dry docks. Of course, we've got the one-time research here, but what I'm inclined to do is research out here to see if this OPEC can be unlocked. And then the other thing which needs to be researched is this, which is uranium mining, because it's the one resources that I haven't actually unlocked on the map yet. So that's the current situation. Now, what I want to do now is go south, because if you've been following the series, you'll be aware that I built some foreign connections over here. And what I've got is this high voltage switch, which is prioritized. And what I've done is I've set this to low priority. And what I'm going to do is just tell it to import maybe 3.6 megawatts into here. And if I switch this on, see, this is bringing power into here, which is feeding into this area. So I do wonder whether we're actually a little bit short of power in this area. But it might take the pressure off this power station. In fact, it's probably taking a little bit too much pressure off the power station. So, and this is very much an experiment. I just want to see how we can actually regulate that. Let's just drop that down to 1.8. and see what effect that's having. This is pulling a little bit more power now. And of course, I've got the flip side up here. Oh, looks like we've got a hotspot here, which we may need to look at. 55%. It's probably drawing a little bit, but it's still only in the yellow. And what we got up here is another one which says low priority. And what I'm going to do is just set this to export. Well, I think I'm going to overload it a little bit and just see whether it would draw the power. So it does draw the power directly. I don't really want to do that, so I think we're just going to turn that down. I think because we got a surplus of power at the moment because it's summer. But what I am going to be interesting is to see whether the game will scale that back when the winter comes. Now, of course, over here we got this line here running across because the electricity should now be flowing in this direction. Yeah, you can see we're getting 5 megawatts, 5.8 megawatts coming in from Dark Valley now, where before the power was flowing the other way. And this should be in the green because I think, oh, okay. This one is drawing a little bit too much power. That's interesting. But I do have this, what we call it. We've got this being built at the moment as well. It's nearly there. So I think we'll just live with the maybe a few powers in there. I'm a little bit worried about this. This is a key switch here, which is going to be a bit of a problem. I think what I'll do is I'll just turn that power off for the moment, and then because I don't want to damage the electricity, so we don't really need to export power. That was just an experiment. So okay, and hopefully that will settle down the power station over here. Well, if it's still going up in the red now, we might have a bit of an issue with the fact that this area is underpowered. We may need to think about a power station here. Now you can see it's dropped back down again now. So it's, yeah, it's that's the heating plant. What am I on about? Yeah, so we probably do need that geothermal plant on here. So I've obviously got a power shortage in this area. Now let's turn this off. I've got one more thing to do. Oops, we got research finished. Let's shoot up and do this research. I just want to keep it going for the moment. So what we've got is we'll do the uranium mining because I think, as I say, this is all kind of extra stuff that I'm not really too worried about. Now, before we get into switching on the maintenance, what I need to do is a little bit of work in this area because in the last part we built this apartment block. So I've got to increase the population here or workforce here so that we can be able to support the maintenance activity. So we're just going to turn you off, and I think this is who's got bad pollution here. Yeah, I think this one suffers too much from the pollution. I've got most of my pollution monitors are now, yeah, it's, I think probably because the power station started working a little bit too hard. And what I want to do is just demolish that block. Not demolish, oh, we haven't transferred the workers. I don't think they'd be appreciated being made homeless. So we're going to send the workers to there. Demolish that. Come there, just let the game run. We're going to move all these workers in. Of course, we can't blow the building up at the moment because we don't have, I think it's waste management enabled. The only thing I haven't checked is whether you can still make explosives on this update. Move you in there like that. And I think we'll demolish you as well. And we can just let more residents flow into. Now there's a kind of ulterior motive for doing this. One is to get some more workforce in here, and the other one is I want to leave some spaces in this area for waste management for when we implement that, like that. And what I'm looking to do is put an apartment block in here, residential. What we're looking for, I want something with fairly high quality. This is 88%, but this is the same as this big block here. I don't think I really feel I need a big block like that. Maybe we need to go down, step down one. This is 231. Press control. Push this back as far as I can. Try and get it in the center there. The node there. I think actually we can come into there. That'd be quite nice. Want you going that way, and then see, this is a tight. Actually, let me just cancel that, so I can do it again. See, this path is only 7 meters long. If you did that, tried to do that in asphalt or with lit lights, it'd just be a real pain in the neck. I mean, it's going to take time to actually happen, even with the crews just building manually. And I've just built this in the wrong place. Sorry about that. That comes from talking. I want this space to be where I'm going to put the garbage disposal. I want the building actually in this space. Here we go. Just do this again. I want it this as close in as possible, like that. Don't get enough of the curve there. And let's hook you there. That's 9 meters that time. Yeah, the grand plan is that what I'm going to do is put one of these things in, but of course at the moment you can't see anything here. Gravel recycling plant, Amnon. Just want to check out of curiosity. I've got no idea where the explosive factory is. Is it under destruction industry? Explosive factory. Okay, we can build an explosive factory. That needs chemical, gravel, and wood. And I mean, it doesn't produce. It produces 10 tons of explosives. Maybe if we get everything sorted out, we can work on that. Now, what I want to do is just check the research up here, and then we'll be good to go for switching up the other six. So I think we're going to do the pipelines because I want to see if we can get to OPEC. So that's everything done now. So we can now move on to maintenance. Now, before I actually switch maintenance on, I'd like to say a special shout out to Vimes. Now, Vimes has been working on the maintenance aspect of the update for quite a long time, as far as I can tell. And he's actually been working on the internal testing and giving feedback directly to the devs. I would also like to say a big thank you for the tips and pointers that he's given me with respect to maintenance. Now, what I am going to say is that I've done a little bit looking at maintenance, but most of what I'm going to be doing going forward now is theoretical based on what Vimes has told me and what I've picked up from other places and doing a little bit of reading. Now, the objectives of what we're going to be doing is we're going to test different scenarios and see how the maintenance work, particularly the vehicle maintenance, because I think the building maintenance is relatively straightforward, and that's the first thing we're going to look at when we switch it on. Now, I'm aware that I will make mistakes. If any of you guys see I'm making a mistake or you've got any tips or comments about how things can do better, feel free to chuck it in the comments to the video and we'll see if we can sort it out. Now, one of my main objectives is to try out all the different areas of transport, because I know there's lots of people looking at just the road vehicles, but the ones that interest me is shipping. Certainly trams. Trains is, I think I've got half an understanding of trains. I think helicopters in themselves are quite relatively straightforward. And then of course the two mystery ones, which is actually aircraft and metro, because as far as I know, metro also needs to be maintained. And of course that then spins down to trolley buses. So hopefully as part of this series, we're actually going to do it. So somebody's waiting too long. Where are you waiting? Where are you? Where are you going? Oh no, he's just what I've got out here is I've got trains working on things which can means that they're working out on this kind of big extension out here, and I've got 4 trains working in it and they keep overlapping. Anyway, that distraction apart, I want to start up here because I've got a bit of a plan of what I want to do. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to switch on maintenance. Take a deep breath. Make sure I switch on maintenance and not waste. Waste is going to be a totally different kettle of fish. So are you sure you want to change game settings? Yes, we changed it. And you get nothing seems to have happened. But of course something has happened, because if I turn on, we get this new thing. It says wear and tear, which has been added to the game. Now, as far as I, oops, put this on and lock it so that it stays on permanently. Now, as far as I know, if you turn on maintenance in the middle of an existing save game, you get a random selection of levels of wear and tear. And I think that's down simply to the fact that if they all started from 0, you'd be bombarded, especially in an economy this big. So there's like almost like a random number generator that says, this building's got wear and tear. And the one way we can find that out, come here, come to buildings, show the whole map, and we'll tell it to sort by, we got to turn on show wear and tear. So we got a food factory in, up here. Food factory is this in. So it looks almost like the hotspot is down here. Game, you've put the hotspot in the wrong place. Because I wanted it up the top because I've got my helicopter crew there. Okay, right, what I'm going to do is, I mean, it's only 30%, which isn't too bad. But not there. See, this is 8%. Let me just do this again, but what we'll do is the whole map. Let me just do that short for the whole map, wear and tear. Oh, that's vehicles. This is buildings, wear and tear. Whole map. Right, 30% like that. So if I change that to, right, we got mares up. So we got some 28s, 26s and 28s in this area. So what I want to do is set up my maintenance construction offices. Now, I've got a bit of a question for you guys because, well, I'll start with the helicopter one and then I'll ask the question. What I did, and this is based on something that Vime sent me, he said that helicopters will now support maintenance. Now, if we come down to here, if I pause, show on auto search, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this simply to maintenance. Now comes the fun bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, what was it? Was it? What was it? I'm going to set this to 28%. Then we're just going to let the game run. We'll set the search distance to 3,000. Trying to do is see if we can pick up any jobs just to see what they look like. There we are, got that there now. And what we got here, it says reconstruction in progress. So what we got here is reconstruction in progress here. Now, what that means, and what I was trying to explain is that when I did my first look, we got there. Okay, so we've got a bitumen underpasses needed to finish current phase. So this needs bricks and boards. I might have shot my own theory out of the place. So now the question I've got is that does reconstruction need gravel, or is it just the higher level materials? Actually, I think what we'll do is, for the fun of it, we'll set you. This is machinery. Set this to machinery to 27% as well, and see if that will detect anything. No, we're not getting anything machinery wise at the moment. Okay. So we've now got this here. Don't know if we got any. These guys seem. There's missing resources. Yeah. Why aren't these? Oh, these are low on fuel. What I've done is I've changed my fuel depot to this. What I've created is a dedicated fuel depot here for supplying my maintenance and waste buildings. So I've separated the functionality from there, but looks like this guy might need a bit of assistance. So I think what I might do, helicopters consume vast quantities of fuel. I think these guys might need a bit of a shove. I think where's the? I think this is heli build crew. Push that up to 80%. So we're going to need to get a lot more fuel into here. Fill this up. Aha. There we go. Okay, a little bit of a problem there, but we can fix it. That's just because I was messing about changing over the fuel supplier. What we might have to do eventually is put in a fuel tank here. Right. And the transformer. Yeah, so this one's going to maintenance. Now, if you want to see what the job is within the building, you can do this. This just needs a little bit of steel and a little bit of... okay. So the helicopters looks like they are going out and repairing. Now, what I want to do is take a look at this one. Wow, he's picked up the same jobs. Interesting. So once the job is detected and triggered by one of the construction offices, any other construction office that's got the reconstruction and machining on it. So we've got machining now in the clothing factory here. This needs electro components, steel and mechanical components. And which clothing factory is that? It's this one, isn't it? Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So I've managed to shut down my clothing factory. And I think we come in here. Right. Yeah, this looks like it's all been detected. I think what I need to do is open up this one, get some workers in here. Bit of an issue there. That's quite interesting that once a job is picked up, then it's picked up by everybody else, which is something I don't really want. Let me just see, because we got another construction office over here. Maintenance. You've picked it up 2,000 meters. Okay. But you're working at 3,000 meters. What I'm going to do is, yeah, you're great because you're not on auto search. So if you're not on auto search, this is my road crew. So I don't want them participating with the job. And the helicopter crew up here, you are right. You've picked them up as well. I don't want you because you're my helicopter road crew there. And there's also the what we call it over here. Now, this guy, do we want him? No, I think we'll leave him on, because all this one does is deliver gravel, asphalt, and mechanical components. Why are you delivering mechanical components? Okay. What we'll do is, if we get a bit of a problem, we will bring these guys in as a backup. And before we go down to the lower part of the map, we'll just take a look at up here. So I suppose in some ways what I'm talking about with respect to what is required for repairs is what is going to be the default setup for a construction office. This one, I think we're just going to set you to that. But you've got an unfinished road in there. Auto research 1000, set you to 2000. But you can't pick up anything because I haven't set any equipment there, because I haven't really. I've wanted to do the experiment with the helicopters, and the way things are going, I might not actually enable this. We'll just see how it goes, because we got 3 maintenance offices down here. In fact, what I might do is actually move these construction offices later on. Right, so let's just get down south. We've got a little maintenance office here. Let's just have a look what we got in this area. Look at the buildings. 1,000 meters. Wear and tear. Real buildings, please. We've got Tudor University that's at 27%. It's just there. Oh yeah, there's something else I forgot completely all about. Okay, I need a school. Yeah, I was looking at this yesterday when I was playing on the extra 3 months, and I kind of looked at it and I thought, oh, I need to fix that, and then I forgot all about it. So put that there. This guy, we'll put him on full auto search everything, but we'll keep him to within 1,000 meters. And again, I'm just going to drop you down. Say, put you down to about 30%, so that you can build that school first. Maybe I don't think there's anything in this area that actually requires machinery, which is another thought which I thought about, because machinery shuts buildings down. And what I'm worried about, so water plants don't have you've got wear and tear. You also see there's productivity, because as the wear and tear increases, productivity goes down. I just want to check power station. What I'm looking at is the key buildings that, if they shut down, can cause absolute havoc. Heating plants, no, heating plants are okay. I don't know whether pylons have wear and tear. Yeah, so looks like the key infrastructure doesn't have machines. It's only heavy industry that actually does that. Right, so up here we've got our, what is here? The sources without boards. I think the problem here is that I've got who is steel import? Check. Where are you picking up? Black Country, steel imports. Black Country, steel distribution. Right, don't have boards here. That's the mech store. You drop mechs there. Mechanical components. You're delivering there. We need boards. We need boards to pick up from here. It's this one here in the trees. pick up the boards. Okay, you pick up boards. And what I want to do is push that up a little bit more. I think the only thing that's missing is electro components, but I think electro components are being brought in by another distribution office because I've got to import those. What I'm going to do is turn you on, and I think we're going to put you on for everything, and set you at 35% to begin with. Again, I don't think that this is actually going to pick anything up, because if we look around here, there could be some. And we've got a little few machines in the pitch plant, but looks like generally this area is good. The thing we're going to need to do is check the range, isn't it? Can't see the range. Kind of a bit inclined to increase this to, there it is there. We're going to need to go to 2000 so that we cover the farms over here and this stuff. So we got that now set up. This one here is set up at 3000. Again, we'll just drop you down to what have we got in this area. Anything that's a bit icky? No, 23% there. I think game work. I think we're set this to 25%. The reason I'm going so low, I know some of you say, well, your office is going to be working hard. What I'm trying to do is get a feel for how much pressure these offices will come under as part of the process of building. What I do need to do though is, okay, you, I'm not going to bring, we're bringing 8 to look at the materials. What we got here? Wow. We've got quite a lot that needs to be done here. There's all these conveyor cables and okay. Well, they're only at 27%. We're going to need to get this office online. Yeah, little dumper truck. Okay. Problem is, I don't have anything that I was building this, and this bit's not finished yet. Right, what we're going to have to do is set up this construction office. And this is a big construction office. So we need fuel here as well. Because what I want to do is get fuel into all my, what we call it, get fuel into all my maintenance construction offices and technical offices. So set that to 50%. Now, what we're going to need here is trying to, it may seem strange, guys, but it's a very long time since I've set up what you could call a default construction office, because normally I tend to specialize them a bit. So I think what we'll do is I'm just going to set up the auto detect. I'm going to take off roads, footpaths and factory connections, but we'll leave everything else in. The reason for that is that what I'm wanting to do is set a road crew up over there. We should be able to cover this area. So what do we need for vehicles? We don't need excavators. Let's start with the traditional dumpers. Now this one connects as a general construction office as well. So we're going to get a couple of, how many dumpers? How many slots has this got? 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 20. Maybe we'll get 3 dumpers. We certainly want deliver there, so get some open holes, all nice and new and spiffy. 95, we get 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. I actually want some tower cranes here, and I think there's a bit of a complication here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got loads and loads of trucks. Right, I need to find my yellow peril. He was delivering tower cranes. There he is. I want you back to, yeah, where are you? Back to there. Have you delivered the tower cranes to here? I think we can turn off the overview now. Right, we've got a couple of, wow, impressive looking tower cranes here. Right. I want a couple of tower cranes in here, because I'm pretty sure that if you're doing maintenance, a couple of tower cranes is going to make a big difference. So we're just going to come in here. Oops. Oh, we can buy some used vehicles. All we got is a train. Used vehicle train. Tower crane. I really like these ones because this has got a speed of 95, but I'm not sure if that will actually. Let's just buy 2 of them. We need to find out if we've got the. Yeah, the KMZ 5410 will. So yellow peril will show up sooner or later. So what have we got now in the way of vehicles? I've lost track. Got the tower cranes. I want a buy a new vehicle mechanism. I want a road crane, and I like this one. Now we're going to need a couple of excavators. Where's the excavators? Quite like these because they can ship themselves. They don't need to be carried in an open hole. What else do we want? Oh, we need some cement things. Again, this is the question. Let me just see if I can. Do we actually need concrete for maintenance? Let me just come over here. The source without mechanical components. Country mech store. Okay, we've a little bit of a problem here. With respect to steel. Looks like we might have a problem with steel production. But then again, I've been building this stuff, so I think it will be okay. If necessary, we can always resort to doing a little bit of importing still. I think sorting the logistics out here is going to be quite a bit of a challenge. What was I doing? Oh yeah, sorry. That's what I was looking at. I mean, the question is, if you're doing maintenance, would you need concrete? Have a quick look down the job list. I'd get these. This is machine replacement. Machine replacement's always going to be steel, mechanical components, and electronics. The bricks, steel, bricks, boards, rock crusher. Yeah, so it does. Yeah, so there is a requirement that you may need concrete. That rings about. Yeah, many concrete. Yeah, we've got a couple of concrete mixers in here. So let's come here, and we'll get a couple of concrete guys. And of course, we're going to need some buses as well. Buses. Oops, I think I've just bought some Western concrete mixers. Hopefully they're going to be quite good. Now, workforce wise, I don't want too much in the way of workforce, so I think we'll get a couple of 32 seaters, or maybe it's anything a bit bigger. I don't want to use great big buses because I think it's a waste of effort. Capacity, let's have a look. 57. I think maybe we'll get a couple of those. I mean, they've got a top speed of 100 kilometers an hour. I think I've got everything. What I need now is my magic dumper. Go there. Pick up miracles. Pop off there. Plastic waste. And you can deliver the tower cranes. Right, what we need now is to, I think what would set you to the border. Electro components to there. Boards to in here somewhere. Prefabs, we got the prefab pickup over here, no problem. Bricks, brick factory over here. Oops. Still, we'll just have to live with what we've got here. Concrete. Asphalt and gravel is just there. Now workforce is going to be a bit tricky. I think what I'm going to do to start with, I'm going to put the workforce onto here. I know it doesn't sound right. Actually, let me just check the workforce on this one. I think we'll put you onto this one as well. The reason I'm not putting the workforce up on this place here is that we've got a bit of an employment problem at the moment. I just checked just to make sure it might have fixed itself. We don't have a lot of unemployment in this area, and part of that is the fact that I'm driving this quite hard to do the research. So right, so you're not finished, so that means it's the one at the top that's finished. So we've done uranium. Oops. Go down into here and work. What's the? Okay, we got dry dock uranium separation. Just choose anyone, I think. Right, while we're here, let's just take a look at how well these guys are going. So they've actually cleared up quite a lot of the. Yeah, let's just see. Wow. No. Okay. See, this needs workforce. So that's something we need to do. Of course, I've got a construction office here, but it's a road crew at the moment. Because the moment I'm just kind of ignoring this area because I want to focus on the maintenance aspect. You can see we're starting to put together the town here, but it's not important. So we are actually getting on top of the maintenance in this area. Let's just scoot down to see what this guy's picking up. This is the maintenance office here. Sources without steel. I'm a bit worried about the fact we don't have steel, so what I'm going to do is pop you down to 30%. If you can pick up anything here. Oh, we still got this natural spring here. I can't remember why I put that there. Why aren't we getting steel into here? Is it the boats? picking up bricks there. Bitumen. Bringing over gravel. Oops, cancel. Yeah, we got some duplication here. I think we can remove prefabs from here. We got prefabs there. So I've got a feeling that eventually what I might have to do is how can I say? Got a feeling what I might eventually have to do is put in a logistics depot over here, and maybe could do away with this. But that will come with time. As while we're here, let's just check the bitumen's low, fuel's low. Okay, going on. Oh, this guy's loading fuel. Okay, we're sucking in really large quantities of. We've got enough fuel for the local distribution. We just don't have enough fuel for. Okay, but then again, I'm filling up lots and lots of bits and pieces. Okay, you've got fuel there. We'll look at my ships. This is going to Western Country. It's pumping harbour. Going there, oil pumping. Okay. We've got coming in. Oh, we've got more oil coming in. So the oil refinery here is producing. I think what we may have to do here is reduce this a bit. So we're coming here. I'm going to knock you back to about 70%, I think. Also interesting in the fact that you can actually ship chemical fertilizer by ship as well. Okay. Run. Let's let the game run fast now. So it should make the fuel back quicker. Right. What have you detected? Okay, let's just see if there's anything in this area that's getting quite high. Look. It's easier actually probably to search finished. Get to OPEC. %, there. I'm assuming that these will change color at a certain point if it gets too critical. Got 29% there. I think what we'll do is we'll trigger this guy by bringing him down to, well, he's at 30% at the moment. This big pumping station. What's that? Yeah, obviously it's not finished, so we'll get the helicopter guys on this. This is a good demonstration that this is not necessarily needed, but I just want to finish it. Get that done. It is meant to be high priority, but then again, I've probably been messing with the construction offices. What's this here? pollution monitoring thingy bobby here. Got a traffic jam. Probably on the border post. Where are you? Okay. These guys want to access. This is a drop-off point. Ah, oh, of course. First problem of the match. Okay, we're gonna have to take off the flags off of this guy. It's unloaded. Okay, we've got to repair the rock crusher. Haha. Okay, that's first potential issue. You can't block both drop-off points anymore. Okay, that's lesson well learned. Right, let's just get back to where are we? Yeah. Where was that? Where is it? That just finished building. Okay, it looks like the pollution monitor here has just been finished building while I was looking around there. Let's have a quick look at the pollution. It's it's okay. Crops are flowing in. And we'll just come back to here. Still got a problem with steel. I'm not sure. You got prefabs. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to follow this guy. This he's got 31 tons of steel on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm aware that I'm also running out of time on this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow him, and I'll be back once he actually gets into port. So I just want to make sure he can unload that steel, and maybe it's just the fact that there's a lot of steel required at the moment, and we're just waiting for that steel, because at the moment the capacity of this is restricted because he's got 21 tons of prefabs on here and 19 tons of bricks. Okay, guys, welcome back. Let's see if this ship is going to unload. He's not unloading. Ah, that's why. He's got 31 tons of steel on there. He's not unloaded. Also, I've got a bit of a problem here. I think we're going to have to send this guy to the... Or what I can do about this. Cats will go to depot. Turn to harbour. Really want to sell that with all that fuel on there. Got a motor tanker here with nothing on it. It looks like we're stuck with this. What's this? This is going north with the bitumen. See, this ship is stuck inside of this one. I don't think there's much I can do about this, so let's unlock that. And what we're going to have to do now is replace that ship. What I'll do is I'll replace that ship off camera, guys, because it's going to take a little while to get that sorted. What I'll do, I just want to check the research that came up, and then that will be it for we're going in the right direction. So yeah, we got dry dock. Let's keep going with uranium enrichment. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. In the next part, what we're going to be doing is starting to take a good look at the vehicle maintenance. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.